everyone. Thanks for joining me on my Facebook Live event. Behind the scenes look at table styling and suite tables. I'm just going to take a couple of seconds to see if people are going to start logging on. I haven't done this before. This is my first time, so I'm just going to see how it goes. Sorry, it's just taking me a couple minutes, just doing some adjusting to my video. So I've got, I'm just gonna do something really quick. There we go. Hopefully I get to see now what's going on. Okay, perfect. So welcome to my first Facebook Live event. It's the behind the scenes look at suite tables and styling. I've been doing this for about 6 years. I started off doing baking and getting into perfecting all my recipes. And then a year later, I got into table styling and suite tables. It was a trend that was happening in the US, and we were actually a little bit late on that in Canada. And it was a little hard to find some inspiration and some people that were kind of like doing it. So I got to researching and all that stuff. And then I found out that there was a lady named Amy Atlas that came up with the idea of taking the regular midnight buffet from a wedding, that one that had the chocolate fountain with all the fruits that you had at the table. She took that and she upped it a level, and she created it around either a theme or a color palette or something that you really liked. So it's been 6 years. I've been doing it nonstop. I love what I do. So today what I wanted to share with you is the process and what goes behind styling a suite table. So I had a few questions that came up the last couple of weeks. The first question is kind of like an entrepreneurial question I got, and it was from Carolina. So the question was, wedding position is key for quality service. What is your story behind to make your offer unique and make your prospects sign without even looking at the price? So I think what she's trying to say is, how do you make yourself stand out from all your competitors first? And second, how do you have your client sign your contract knowing that you're a certain price range? So first, I just wanted to say that considering competitors, I'm actually friends with a lot of my competitors. We do a lot together. We refer each other business. We work together on different shoots, styled shoots. And we also actually hang out and have play dates with our kids and have coffee. So that's the first thing. So kind of be friends with your competitors. I mean, that helps a lot. You kind of use each other as a sounding board and for ideas and things like that. But the next part is your customer is always going to look at your price. No matter if they're rich or poor, they all have a budget. And unfortunately, you're probably going to be almost the last on their list to look at, because they're going to be booking a DJ, they're going to be booking florists, they're going to be booking the venue. So they have a budget to follow. So unfortunately, they're going to look at your price. Now, in saying that, you want to be able to kind of put yourself, you want to put yourself in your niche market. You're going to know what you're worth, and you're going to be able to tell them exactly what your price is, what you're offering with your price and what the service is. You know exactly what you're worth. So in saying that, you're going to be able to show your customer exactly what you're going to offer them. But also, I think the other key is customer service. Customer service is by far number one when looking at booking customers. it's not about hand holding the customer, it's about actually offering them the service from A to Z, making sure they understand the quality that's going into your service, be it suite tables, be it photography, be it florist. Just make sure that your customer service is on point, because if it is, not only will they refer you to their friends and colleagues, they'll just keep coming back for their next event and whatever else they have coming up. I hope that answers the question. My next question that I had was, what type of licensing do you need for just styling the suite table? I acquired a food handling license, and that's all that I have since I don't actually make the trees. So this is from Jocelyn. I also have a food handling service license. That is actually a must. You have to have that. I don't really have another license to style the suite tables. I do have insurance. That actually I think is important when you're doing events, and knowing that if it's at a different venue, if it's at someone's house, you know that if something of your stuff breaks or if something happens to someone at the event, at least you're insured for that. So just to say that I don't really have a license for styling. Another question that I have is, which is really, I think, what the main focus is for me right now on doing this live. It's from Joelle, and she says, I've always been curious about what kind of planning process goes into suite tables. Is it more of a spontaneous creation, or is everything carefully planned out and determined ahead of time? Okay, so this is where I feel like a lot of people kind of get the wrong idea of what a suite table is. Although we charge a certain amount and there's a budget and all that stuff, and we're careful as to what goes into the suite table as well as the budget, the planning process is actually a long one. We go from meeting the client and determining their budget, then we determine their theme, and they give us their inspirations of what they want on their suite table. We also have to determine what they want as suites on their suite table. And then we go from getting all of the appropriate props for the suite table, making sure that we have everything on hand, and if we don't, we have to start shopping for that. That is actually one of my favorite parts, actually, shopping, but I digress. After that, it's not only shopping for new material or for updated props. We also have a DIY aspect, because a lot of our things on our suite tables are paper related, anything from banners to backdrops and things like that. So if we don't make it ourselves, we actually have someone that we have to contact and we have to hire on to be able to make that. We also have to bake. That actually is a longer process in creating the suite table. We also have to create a fake mock-up to make sure that before the day arrives, we know what we're doing and I know how I'm placing what where. I have risers that I have to use. I have different platters, different cake stands. So that kind of gives me a little bit of an idea of how I'm going to set up that same day. And after that, not only do I have the mock-up, but I also have to kind of make sure that I have all the props that I need for that day as well. Then it comes the day of, where I have to pack my stuff. I have to make my way to the venue or to my client's home. It takes me about an hour and a half to do a setup. I also have to, make sure that the client is happy with what she sees. If not, you change things around. You make sure that she's satisfied before you leave your client's place. And then also there's actually coming back after the party is done and then taking everything down, which takes another about 45 minutes to an hour. So that whole process, depending on when your client books you, it actually takes about 2 to 3 weeks to really determine from A to Z on how you want your table to look. It's also, I also get 1 week notice for some clients. That's if I have everything on hand, if I have all my props, if I have time to bake most of the stuff, I would take the client, but that's very, very rare. So just that going, just to give you an idea, it takes about 3 weeks to kind of give you that finishing look for the suite table. My other point would be budget. What is a typical budget for a suite table? Basically, a suite table ranges in budget. Like I said before, you have to know that you're not the only person that the customer or the client is booking. She's also booking a DJ, like she's booking her florist and her music, her music if she has like a band coming in, depending on the event. So depending on the event would be either a wedding, you have corporate events, you have baptisms, birthdays, you have social events, launches and things like that. So depending on what you have, just know that there's a minimum requirement for booking a suite table, and there's knowing that what you want is to determine how many people you're going to have at your event, what you're looking for, what you're going to have. Is it a dinner? Is it a lunch? Is it just the suite table that you're going to have? So that also kind of comes into play on what you're looking for in budgets. And your inspiration, is it something you want to look like the Cirque du Soleil, or you're looking for something very simple, clean, black and white type of lines? I mean, that goes into play in your budget as well, and what you need to know when booking a suite table. I've worked with different budgets. I've worked with budget that was $6,000, and that was like 6-foot table. That was for 400 people. That was it was an all-out event. So, and they had different canapes and things like that as well at the same time, but it was mostly the suite table that they were looking for to be able to make that wow factor at their event. I've also had, smaller budgets where, I had to take into consideration that, it was a birthday party for a child turning 5, and the mom had only a certain amount to spend. So I worked around that, making sure that, the child was able to have something special for her birthday. I don't say no, but I do have to sometimes, because it's a little hard, going through, it's a little hard kind of knowing that what the client wants, and you want to do it for them, and you want to make sure that they're happy. You're in the business of making people happy. You're in the business of making someone's special day that much more special. So for me, that's what's important to being a suite table stylist, because I feel like a suite table kind of gives that wow factor to your event, and it actually ends up being the talk of the party. I don't want to toot my own horn, but it always ends up being the talk of the party. People are always happy. They're always, it just gives them that one more feel of, why they came to the party, and they're happy that they came. So being able to celebrate with their loved ones and having that, suite table to kind of show off what their loved one is all about. I mean, that's exactly what it is, a suite table. Going towards that, I want to kind of talk about inspiration and where to find inspiration. I know that Pinterest is a big deal. I love Pinterest just like the next girl, but I know how to control Pinterest, because I know what it's all about, and I know what each picture is worth. I know the budget that goes into it. I know who's done what in collaborations. So when you're looking for inspiration, be mindful and be very careful when you're looking at Pinterest pictures, because your budget could be $500 and the picture that you're looking at is probably $1,500 to $2,000. So just know that it's not only Pinterest that you need to look at. There's inspiration everywhere you go. There's inspiration in paintings that you look at. There's inspirations in carpet design. There's inspiration in fashion design. There's inspiration everywhere. I've done tables where the mom gave me an inspiration to her daughter's favorite book. I did a suite table to the favorite color. A lot of people designed their own invitations, and they wanted their suite table to kind of take on the look and the feel of that invitation. So, I mean, you can grab inspiration everywhere. Just make sure that what you're going with and what you're, yeah, just know that the inspiration is taken from everywhere and anything. Especially if it's a kid's birthday party, you know, you want to look at what they like and what they're playing, what they're watching, what they're getting as gifts, things like that. You also want to look at for anything in wedding related for inspiration. You want to look at your color palette. You want to look at the feel that you want to go for in your suite table. So if you're going to have a rustic suite table, rustic wedding, I apologize, your table would have to kind of go in line with that. So you can't really have a glamour type of suite table and your wedding is in a barn. So you want to make sure everything is streamlined when you're looking at inspiration and what you want for your suite table and for your theme. How do you keep motivated when business is slower? This question is from Mesa. How do I keep motivated? My motivation actually is about taking my business onto the next level. I'm always looking for new trends. I'm always looking for collaborating in shoots and styled shoots with different industry vendors. That's a really good way on downtime, is to get to know people in the industry. When you do, then you're getting to know different photographers, you're getting to know different florists. Everybody has their own creative style, and getting to know them will actually give you that, next time your client is looking for something, at least you have someone that you can refer them to. I'm also, what else do? I spend a lot of time with my kids when it's downtime and when it's slower. I try to make time for my friends as well, because during busy time I can't really see anybody. People in the same industry actually should know that. So between May and October, I see nobody. I can't talk to anybody. I'm rushing and I'm doing all kinds of stuff. So yeah, so that's what happens for downtime. What else can we talk about? I've kind of a bit of background. I've started Suite Tables because I have 3 kids, and each kid has a birthday at least every 3 months. So we have fun planning their parties and their Suite Tables. We have fun kind of looking at trends. We have fun looking at things that they want to put on their Suite Table. They actually have fun making stuff for their Suite Table. That's actually something that I love with my kids. We tend to kind of go a little crazy, but I mean, it's for their birthday party, so why not? Another question. With so many styles and choices of Suite Tables out there, how do you help your clients stick to one type and help them not get overwhelmed and stressed? Wow, that's a really good one. I like that one. Well, first I get to know my clients. When we do our consultation, it's about an hour or so. Sometimes it actually goes longer because I tend to feel so connected with my clients sometimes that we tend to talk about everything. I have to get to know them, what they like, what their first choice is, because what their first choice is actually what they should be going with. When they start kind of naming other things after the first choice, you know that you want to stick with what they said the first time. I also keep them on budget and on track. If they start asking me for certain things and they've already given me their budget on what they want to spend, I have to tell them what each thing is going to cost. And then I have to tell them, if you want this, we might have to get rid of this. If you want to add this, we might have to kind of tone down on something else. So it's always kind of reminding them and being mindful of what they have going and what their budget is. And I know I don't like talking about price and I don't like talking about budget, but I mean, regardless, everybody has a budget in life. Regardless if it's a Suite Table or not, you're gonna always have something in mind of how much you want to spend. And so keeping that in mind will kind of keep you on track of what you want for your Suite Table. Yes, you're right, Carolina. So truest choice is always the best one. Absolutely. I try to actually keep my clients stress-free. I take on a lot of their stresses, which is okay because I know what I'm doing, so I don't get overwhelmed. I also help them kind of go through a lot of the process of planning. If they're looking for a venue, if they're looking for somewhere to have it, if they're looking for different, referrals for different things that they want for their party, I'm always there to help the client. Like, I mean, it's my pleasure to be able to kind of offer them different types of services that, you know, that would coincide and would be able to kind of bring the party together with their sweet table. Any other questions that you guys may have? Like anything else that you want me to answer? Anything else that you think you might want to know about sweet tables? I talked about budget, talked about inspiration, talked about the process, and talked about, you know, oh, you're so cute, Heidi. I know, me too. I so wish you were here. Seeing your tables is such a pleasure. I love this lady. She's always liking my posts and always liking my pictures. So sweet. I'm so glad she's on. Carolina, how many people ask for samples, previews, all of your clients? Well, okay, so when it comes to samples and previews, okay, samples I only do for weddings. Knowing that that's the most important day of their life, I want my client to like what they're eating. That's the only time I really will do samples. Previews, I have my booklets that I kind of give to that I bring with me on my meetings with my clients. They get to see what I've done in the past. I also have my Facebook, my Instagram, all that stuff. So they kind of get to see what I've done in the past. How do you deal with people, you know, looking for freebies? Oh yes, thanks, Lizanne. I've done a lot of freebies, only because when I first started, I wanted to get my name out there. So I did a lot of freebies. Now I'm more confident on what I do. I'm actually I know what I'm doing. I'm better at what I'm doing. So I don't really do freebies. I do charity. I do a lot of charity work, which actually is near and dear to my heart. I will always do charity. It's getting a little bit, it's busier and busier every year. So charity, I have to really look at what charity I would do, depending on what comes up. But yeah, I don't do much freebies anymore. I don't. So sorry. Ivan, has it happened that you had to turn down a client because how they were not able to choose an idea? If not decline, how did you deal with it? No, I didn't have to turn down a client. I did have to be a little bit firm and a little strict. It's hard it's hard, like customers are like all over the place when it comes to themes and stuff like that. So, so I didn't turn them down, but I was a little strict with them and a little harsh. And I feel bad saying that because I don't want to be that way. I'm not that kind of person. So I think some clients need that. They do need to be reined in because they're just all over the place. So I kind of tend to let them know, this is what I can do. This is what I think you should have. And we kind of tend to go from there. But no, I've never declined a client unless I was busy and I was booked that day, but that's about it. Tamara, if there is canapes or dinner before the sweet table, how do you calculate sweets portions per person? Ooh, good one, actually. Really, that's a really good one, because when you're having dinner and when you're having canapes, when you're having different stations, because I know a lot of weddings have different stations. They have like the right before the reception, they have a cocktail hour and things like that. So for that, I usually do 3 bites per person, so 3 desserts per person, depending on how many people. Let's say if there's 100 people, I would actually bring down the number to 75, and it'll give about 1.5 to 2 portions per person. And honestly, that is enough. When you have extra food, people fill up faster when there's alcohol and when there's cocktail and when there's canapes. They don't fill up as much with dinner because they're sitting down, they're taking their time and stuff. But when they're standing up, talking, chit-chatting, networking, things like that, when it comes to canapes and when it comes to cocktail, I feel like they don't eat as much. So you don't want as much dessert to go to waste either. I feel that's actually one of my biggest pet peeve, is to still have dessert on the table and I have to throw it out. I can't tell you how much I sometimes get angry at my kids because, you know, they come home with their food still in their, you know, in their lunch boxes. And I tell them, you know, people are, you know, dying around the world because they don't have food. So I try to kind of tell the customer or the client that depending on how much food you have, this is how much sweets you should have so that you're not left over with so much at the end of the day. Just looking at other questions. Thank you so much, guys. This is really, really, really awesome. I hope I was able to answer most of your questions, and I'm being really honest in a lot of things that I'm giving out in answers. I don't like to hide things. I'm pretty much an open book when it comes to my sweet tables and my business and things like that. I'm not. Oh, you're welcome, Tamara. Thank you. I'm not one to kind of like lie about how much you should have on your sweet table, just so you know. I'll give you the honest truth, and I will always let you know that, if I can't do it and if I will do it, and if budget is an issue, I will always let you know. So it's I mean, that way I'm always on point with that. Or how is it they're saying now? On fleek. So I'm on fleek with that. So we've got like another couple of minutes to go for the live Facebook live event. If there's anything else that you actually guys want to ask me and you just remember later on, you can always email me at info@chocolata.ca. I'll be happy to answer, or you can even go through Facebook, so no problem. Ooh, Judy, the backdrop behind you. Oh, thanks. I love my backdrop. Is it made with paper? Yes, it is. It's made with paper. I actually got it made through Creations by Jasmine Rose. We do a lot of collaborations together. We do a lot of work together on certain sweet tables. And she's done this for my Easter sweet table that I did a few months back. And so she makes everything with paper, and we've done some great tables together, actually. So I've tagged her on a lot of my pictures. So if you guys want to take a look at my photo albums on Instagram and Facebook, you'll see a lot of her work with me. What inspired me to become a sweet table stylist? I think the creativity. I think being able to be creative has helped me kind of hone in what I want to do and my passion for my business. I felt like just being a dessert baker kind of plateaued at one point, and then I just needed something else to kind of bring me to my next level, and I feel like Sweet Tables has done that. I not only do sweet tables, I bring it out to the event as well. I can style the event to your sweet table as well. I mean, it just keeps growing, and it keeps growing, especially like now that I see other people coming on to being a sweet table stylist. I see so many great ideas and so many great creatives out there. It's just ridiculous. Especially going out to Australia again. I just want to hop to each person's house and be like, how do you do this and how do you do that? I just want to meet them and be like, wow, this is you guys have done such an amazing job, just to kind of like make me feel more at ease with what I do, and then as well as be more creative and come up with some great ideas. How much should be invested in the accessories? I invest a lot of money in my accessories, but I reuse a lot of my props. As a client, I really suggest not to. If you're not going to do a sweet table yourself, if you're not going to make them, like you're not going to style it yourself, I suggest not to invest in anything. You want to be able to have that person, when they come and style your sweet table, have all the accessories on hand. It's a lot of money. It's actually, it'll blow your budget out of the water if you start buying accessories and things like that. So that is one of the reasons why you want to hire a sweet table stylist, is because they have all the accessories and all the props. And even if they don't, they can make it or buy it, and they'll reuse it at the next event. So it's not something you'd want to invest in. It's a lot of money. One of my clients actually told me, she said, I read your blog, I'm so happy that you're telling us how to do this and how to do that. She goes, but I would never be able to afford the props and the stands and the cake platters and all that stuff to go on the sweet table. She goes, that's why I'm going to hire you. So I'm happy with that. We're going to do her daughter's Sweet 16, so I'm excited for that one. What was your plan on how to expose your business? Oh, that's a good one. My business is actually very word of mouth and referrals, and a lot of it has to do with Facebook and Instagram as well. I've done advertising. Advertising doesn't work. It really doesn't work for me. I feel bad saying that, and I've spent a lot of money on advertising and it doesn't work. The thing that works really for me, and I think for a lot of people these days, is social media, as well as referrals and feedback from your clients. Any way they can give you like a 5-star rating on your Facebook or Google ranking or anything like that, that actually will help you get more business, I feel. You also want to be able to network a lot. I do a lot of networking. I do a lot of events to go meet different people, different vendors. I go meet different like your local say it with me, your local I forget, anyways, your city's networking. They have once a month. I'm so sorry, it's like slipped my mind. Okay, so you could do those once a month and just kind of go into your local chamber of commerce. There you go. Yay, got it. So go there and do that once a month. Get to know the people there. I did that for about a year. That was really good. I got to know the people in my area. I do a lot of cold calling. My background is in sales, so I do a lot of that. I do a lot of cold calling. I do a lot of business to business and things like that, kind of getting the word out there. So yeah, kind of doing a little bit of each kind of helps a lot. Not advertising. No, sorry. Any training on marketing that are worth taking? You know what, Carolina? I actually do a lot of online. I actually do a lot of e-courses, a lot of the free ones anyways. Anything to do with marketing, branding, anything to do, nothing baking, really. It's all about business. That's all I do is I try to learn as much as I can about business and how to grow my business and how to take it to the next level. I watch a lot of Gary Vaynerchuk. He's really good. I watch a lot of him. I get motivated by listening to, different podcasts. They have a lot of different episodes on how you can, earn more money, or like not earn more money, but how to kind of develop, your business to get more, more clients and things like that. I do a lot of, a lot of free e-courses that I do online. They're really, really worth it. I mean, they're half an hour to an hour of your time. I do it while I'm baking. I have my earphones on and then I just go and I kind of listen to it and I take it all in. So hopefully that helps. Wow, this is pretty cool. It's been 32 minutes. Okay, so I'm gonna let you guys have your lunch because it's 12:30 now. But okay, one last question. All right, I'll take Joelle. Do you sometimes work with other sweet table stylists when you can't take on a client due to lack of time and availability? Do you find that it helps your business to keep those relationship collaborative? Absolutely, 100%. Yes, absolutely. Collaborate as much as you can. Be friends with a lot of your competitors if you can. My competitors refer me. I just got a referral today from one of my competitors. I mean, she's always referring me when she's busy. I refer others when I'm busy. It's the way to go. I feel like there's business for everybody. It's not all about you. It's about, being kind and being, able to kind of share the wealth. Sometimes I feel like, at one point at first I was like, why her, not me? And that's such a bad mindset. Oh my God, it was awful. Now I'm all about, just sharing and being friends with my competitors, making sure that, they're, if I know something and I want them to know, I'll call them like, oh my God, did you see this? Or did you hear about this? Like, I mean, it's all about that. It's really all about collaborating and being friends with one another. It's it'll take your business to a whole new level, for sure. That's it. So I really hope I was able to answer a lot of your questions. Again, if there's anything else that comes up, give me a call. You can email me at info@chocolata.ca. You can call me if you want. I don't mind. I'll probably be baking, so I might not answer right away. Facebook, Instagram, message me, no problem. I'm more than happy to answer any of your questions. So hope you enjoyed the half an hour on getting to know what Sweet Tables is all about. And hopefully next month, I'll be able to kind of show you guys a bit of styling and what goes into styling and what you can use in terms of props and stuff like that. All right. Thank you so much. Bye.